What's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Kevin Eats World. On this episode, we are going to learn how to break down a whole chicken. But before we move forward, please make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. So the benefits of buying a chicken whole versus buying by the parts is you're just going to save money per pound, and then you just have a lot more flexibility what you can do with the chicken. So what we have here today is a store-bought chicken. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take out all the gizzards and some of the inner parts. Don't throw this away. There's actually a lot of really good stuff in here, which we'll go over a little bit later. The second thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pat down your chicken. You don't need to wash your chicken off. I don't know where that myth came from, but you are going to want to pat down your chicken for a couple reasons. A, it's going to be a little bit easier to handle. But B, when you actually break down the chicken, you're going to want to season it and store it in the fridge for a couple hours. So you get a nice brine on the chicken. It's called a dry brine on the outside. But then you can also, you get a nice crispy skin. So the parts of the chicken, you have your breasts, your wings, your legs, and then on the flip side, you'll have your thighs. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take out this backbone. And so the first thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to take a pair of kitchen shears, and if you can look in, there's probably a little slot in between the backside of this wing and the spine bone that you'll be able to kind of slide your kitchen shears into. So really all you're going to do is you're going to cut down the back of the chicken, really just following alongside that bone. If you get stuck a little bit, you can get a little bit of a bigger knife here and kind of help guide here for you. And then what we're going to do is we're essentially going to repeat on the flip side. So cutting down through that rib cage and following all the way down the back part of the spine. You want to save this piece of meat to make chicken stock. So if you're not going to make chicken stock right away, put it in a shrink wrap bag in the freezer and save it for later. But you're going to get a ton of flavor out of this, so do not throw that away. Okay, so now there's a couple different ways that we can look at preparing this. A common thing is called spatchcocking, and that's essentially you're going to have your whole chicken, and you're simply just going to press down on the breasts to break this breastbone through. And you can essentially roast your chicken whole. This will give you a little bit better cooking time. If you want to do brick chicken to press down on it, you could do it that way. That's going to be one of the easiest ways that you could do chicken. The second way that you can break down your chicken is you simply do chicken halves. And so essentially you're going to take your knife and you're going to cut right down the breastbone through the chicken. You're going to want a nice, big, sharp kitchen knife. Just be careful of your fingers, and you're going to chop through your chicken, and now you have chicken halves. Now, if you want to break this chicken down a little bit further, a lot of what people do is they'll take these little wing tips off. So I'm just going to take one of these chickens. You want to find the knuckle in between the joint. You take that out, save this for stock with your backbone. And then this would be a good way that you can essentially roast a half chicken. If you want to break this down a little bit further and you want to separate the breast, the white meat, from the dark meat, essentially you're going to cut through the skin. There's no joints here, right? So you can just use a paring knife, just as a little bit easier to follow through. And then essentially through the back, there's just a little bit of meat kind of holding these two pieces together. So now you have your chicken quartered, and we're going to repeat on the other side. We're going to find the joint here on the wingette, and then essentially we're just going to cut through the skin here, just being careful not to go too far deep. And we have now quartered our chicken. Now, if you want to break this down even further, and you want actual pieces of your chicken, we're going to start with the dark meat, and we're going to go ahead and essentially separate this drumstick from the thigh. There's going to be a joint right here that you can take your paring knife and you can essentially just walk all the way through. Nice and gentle. Doesn't need a lot of effort. And you've now separated your thigh from the drumstick. We'll go ahead and repeat on the other side. Again, this little seam here. Just gently take your paring knife. Just going to walk it right through that joint. And then walk it through the rest here. And then if you want to clean this up, you can cut off some of this excess skin here. We'll cut off a little bit of the excess skin there. Now, if you want to clean up this breast here a little bit, again, you can see it through the skin. There's a little seam here. I'm just going to gently walk our paring knife around just to kind of create a little bit of visibility into the joint. And we're going to carve our wing out of the breastbone. And we'll go ahead and repeat on the other side so you can see. Again, we're going to create just a little bit of visibility, cut some of these pieces away until we find that joint. Find the joint in there, and we're just going to cut through into that chicken. And then the last piece that I like to do when handling chicken, especially because I don't want to worry about this huge breast cooking evenly with everything else, I'm just going to simply take my kitchen knife and I'm just going to cut through the chicken. You're going to have to put a little bit of pressure to break through the bones here. But just going to get those pieces cut through, and we'll repeat the same process with the other side. This side going a little bit more smoothly. So, when you look at how to break down a chicken, we have your breasts, we have your thighs, we have your drumsticks, your wings, and then your backbone and your wingettes for stock. So I'm just going to blot all this stuff dry here. And then you can really prepare this however you want. In a future video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to prepare this for putting on the grill. But really, I'm just going to season these up and throw them in the fridge. And then next time on Kevin Eats World, we'll go ahead on how to cook barbecue chicken. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this will help you in breaking down chicken in the future. Remember, if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time on Kevin Eats World.